you must not break them. There is a way in which the laws are made, there is a way in which they are changed. To that you must comply.
Would you break the law, Jackie? Can you imagine any circumstances under which?
I tend to agree with him, I must say. I think you have to work within what you've got. I believe in discipline, personally.
In discipline,
yeah.
Which is being totally and completely law-abiding, whatever happens.
No, well, it's not as simple as that. I think you have to think for yourself, but I think you have to work within the rules generally. I mean, that's been my experience.
Terry, would you break the law?
Well, I'm a bit of a coward, so I probably wouldn't. But I think there are a lot of bad laws, and I think one has to continually question the laws. And I hope under circumstances I would break the laws, for example, the one I gave. And I think in this country, the actual, Enoch talks about, well, you can always change the laws, but it's such a laborious and impossible process. I mean, I don't see laws getting changed very often.
Let's move away from law for a minute and just go back to rules and back to the House of Commons.
Yes.
Mr. Powell, you don't believe the House of Commons is a place for women, do you?
I don't believe it's a place that women enjoy, and it is a place to be enjoyed. I don't think it's a place calculated to amuse the other sex. And you can't really can't really be successful in the House of Commons unless you're enjoying it. Well, it is a man's club. I don't believe there's ever been a woman member of the House of Commons who somewhere in the back of her mind hasn't really thought that it was rather sixth form and rather stupid.
Do you think Mrs. Thatcher feels out of place in the House of Commons?
I don't think she enjoys it. I think she maybe regards it as an arena, but she doesn't enjoy being there. She doesn't say to herself, how lucky I am that I'm a member of the House of Commons. I'll tell you an experience that I have. I've refused office 3 times and resigned it once. And the same thing has happened to me on every occasion. The next time I went back into the House of Commons, there was this overwhelming sense as if I was coming back to Mother, as if I was coming back to the place where I belonged, saying, as it were, I'm here, I'm back with you, in the place where I want to be.
And you feel that to be a very masculine sentiment?
It's because the House of Commons is an institution which men have made. And they've made it according to their own sense of humour, to their own sense of tolerance, to their own sense of gentlemanliness, if you like.
I think that's one
puffing
of the
with outrage down the end.
No. I think there's a lot of truth there. I mean, I think Enoch always speaks truth, actually. I mean, that's why I really respect him. Perceptivity. But then, I think one of the problems about the House of Commons is precisely because it's a gentleman's club. And that's one of the reasons why I don't think the rules and the laws change quickly enough. I mean, I don't think we're going to change laws quickly enough to catch up with what we need to do to save the environment, for example. I think this fact that it is a gentleman's club is one of its limitations.
But it can do the great service which Michael Foot has performed for the House of Commons in his lifetime, almost as long as mine, is that it's taught the House of Commons that whatever it wants to do, it can do. If it wants to do a thing fast and quickly, it can do it. It has the power to do it. But we've got to persuade them. We as the electorate have got to tell them that that's what's got to be done, and we've got to find ways of persuading them.
Once every 5 years is really enough?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do, because otherwise you're chopping and changing the whole time.
No, but I mean, in terms of informing the government, I mean, I think, protest and demonstration and discussion is what's really important.
Well, they're not entirely isolated or insulated from what's going on. Many an act of Parliament has passed that I've been opposed to, but I've never thought that entitled me to break that act if it was a law which applied to me as a private citizen. I was opposed to the introduction of compulsory seatbelts, but I wear a seatbelt meticulously. I think evidence will eventually persuade people that it was an unnecessary and probably an unwise law. But until people are so persuaded, then I shall wear a seatbelt, because that's what the law says.
I totally agree. The seatbelt law, it protects the motorists, and it doesn't protect the pedestrians. When you have compulsory seatbelts, casualties of pedestrians go up.
It looks like that. It certainly looks like that.
Can I ask you finally, all of you, is there any one law, not a law, a rule, I mean, maybe even an ordinary, mundane, social mores that you would quite like to throw off and to change, Terry?
Well, I've never gone up to... I've never gone up to a woman that I thought was really attractive and told her exactly what I was thinking, if I didn't know her, I've always said, oh, it's terribly hot in here, isn't it? Well, what's your job?
Have you got one, Jackie?
Well, it applies to me. I've always kind of hoped I could put my pussycats in my bag, come from America, and slip them in through customs.
Yes.
And not have a quarantine
Totally
thing.
impossible. Got to leave them behind. Mr. Power.
I'm essentially conformist, you know, and I like to keep the rule that on a programme you should put the interviewer at her ease. I don't know that's...
And you've done that marvellously well. Thank you very much indeed. Ladies and gentlemen, Enoch Powell, Catherine Bissett, Terry Guillaume. Thank you very much indeed. That's all from Saturday Matters. Next week, Ian Hislop will be back, and I'll be meeting Rory Bremner, P.D. James, and Mrs. Thatcher's jolly green giant, Chris Patton. Hope you'll join us then. Good night.
In Desert Island Discs tomorrow, Sue Lawley pays tribute to John Ogden, the renowned British pianist, who talks about his life and music in a programme made very shortly before his death last month. That's on Radio 4 at 12:15 tomorrow, repeated Friday morning at 9:05. In a few moments on BBC One, 19th century Paris provides the atmospheric setting for a grisly tale as Peter Cushing heads the cast in Legend of the Werewolf.
Sunday celebrates Songs of Praise for Harvest from Lincoln Cathedral at 7:15, first of the summer wine.
I might not have perfect fingernails, but that don't stop me being attractive to women. No, it's just your face that stops you from being attractive to women.
At 7:45, Howard's Way.
Damn that boy. You're talking about the man I'm going to spend the rest of my life with, Mother. He doesn't know that, but that's how it's going to be.
There's more to sandwich making than just bread at 8:35.
You see, in America, the sandwich is an art form. You don't just slam a banana between two slices of bread and jump up and down on it.
At 9:05, even accountants' cars can get broken into.
They did the look.
What did they take?
A box of Kleenex and a briefcase full of VAT forms. A box of Kleenex. I mean, how poor are these people?
At 10:55, one fatal day in two men's lives.
I've never been violent in my life. I just don't like violence.
The sun sets on Africa Watch at 11:35, our last live visit to Kenya. And don't forget Network East at 12:25 as you settle down for your Sunday evening on One.
Well, no doubt I'm glad to say about which are animals and which are humans in our special event tomorrow on BBC One, Africa Watch. 6:30 in the morning is the first of our several visits throughout the day to the Masai Mara Game Reserve in Kenya to bring live pictures of a dazzling range of animals in the wild. Africa Watch tomorrow on BBC One, beginning at 6:30 in the morning. We'll now look at the weather closer to home. Western coasts will be rather cloudy overnight with some showers. Parts of southeast England and East Anglia could also see the odd shower. Central areas will be clear and prone to patchy fog by dawn. The west of Scotland and Ireland will have rather more prolonged rain by morning. The cloud and rain in the west will push across Northern Ireland and western Scotland tomorrow, eventually followed by brighter conditions in the far northwest. After a rather cloudy start in the southeast, most southern and eastern areas will be dry and bright. However, some western coasts will still be rather cloudy. Most of the higher temperatures will be found in sheltered southeastern areas tomorrow. Sheltered spots in northeast Scotland could become warm in any sunshine, but generally it'll be cooler in the north and west. That's the forecast. And that's just about it for tonight here on BBC One, except to remind you that Radio 2 is always there to welcome you, and after 1 a.m. you'll find Patrick Lunt with Night Ride. But from us here on BBC One, this is Andy Cartledge wishing you, wherever you are, a very good night.